Welcome to TQ Training. Today we're looking at Spreadsheet Tutorial 1, Formatting, Part 1 of 2. We're going to look at borders, cell colour, text appearance and merge and centre. Here we have a basic spreadsheet. It's got exam results, it's got the names of people who have sat exams, and it's got their results for English, Maths and ICT. And in this current format, this isn't too bad. We can read down and see that these are people's names. We can see how many English passes, fails and not taken we've got, or we can read across and see that Raj has got a pass and a fail. And on a spreadsheet this size, it's fine. Now imagine if this was for an entire school and you had another 500 names down here, another 20 subjects across here. Suddenly you would have an awful lot of information filling this spreadsheet and it wouldn't be as easy to read. So we're going to use formatting to make it easier to understand. We're going to start with borders. If we left click and hold and then drag across to our entire area and let go, this has now highlighted this whole selection. And up here we have borders. If we click it now, it'll put a bottom border on it, so let's do that. And then we click away, you can see it's put a line underneath. Not particularly effective, so we're going to click undo to get rid of that. Now let's click and drag again. We've highlighted our field, and down the side there's a small arrow that gives you more options. And we're going to put all borders. This is one that you'll use quite a lot. Then we click away, we can see it's put borders around everything. This makes it slightly easier to read across, and if this was going this far, you'd be able to follow the lines a lot easier. Borders can be changed, so once you've clicked and dragged and highlighted the whole area, you can change it. So let's put a thick border around this one, and this has now put a thick border around our existing one that already had the lines in it. And we can play around with this as much as we want. The next thing we're going to look at is cell colour. This is plain white, a little bit boring, and certain key information doesn't stand out. The other problem we have with this is that the titles, name, English, Maths and ICT, of each of these columns, it's the same font style, colour, size, the cell is the same as the actual information included within it. And we want to make this stand out. So we're going to click and drag. This has highlighted our titles, and we're going to change the colour of the background. And here we have fill colour. Now there's a little yellow line underneath, which means if we selected this, it will turn yellow. So let's give that a try. Left click, and there it is in yellow. So straight away we can see that that stands out above that. Let's do the same with this one, and we're going to make it the same colour. And we can now see that we've got names, we've got qualifications, and the actual results stand out a little bit more because it's a different colour on the background. Let's say that we want to particularly highlight the not taken to remind us that this person needs to take this exam. When we changed the colour of these, we clicked and dragged because they were all next to each other, and again we was able to click and drag like that. However, with the not taken, those two cells aren't connected in any way, so we can't click and drag. So we're going to use a different method. You have two choices. First of all, left click to select your cell. Choose the colour that you want. When you're choosing a colour, you need to be careful that you're selecting a colour that makes the text easy to read. We have standard colours at the bottom, and you have a selection of palette colours up here. If I chose that as the colour, we can still clearly read underneath not taken. If I chose that colour, you can barely read the text, so that would be a bad formatting choice. Let's go with that one. So we've now made not taken highlighted in that pink colour, and we always want to do the same with this one. So we click it. You'll see that this is now, under the line underneath has gone pink. It's remember the last colour that we used, so we're going to click on that, and we have two pink not takens. There is another way of doing this, and it's particularly effective if you've got more than just two cells that aren't together. You click your first cell, you press and hold Control on your keyboard, and whilst it's still being held, you select any more cells that you want. In this case we've only got one more to select, but it could be as many as needed. Now that it's highlighted those two cells, we choose the colour that we want. Let's go with that one, and you'll see that it's filled them both in at the same time. that's cell colour. We now want to look at the text appearance. If we highlight the text here, we can change the style of font, which is up here. We can change the size of it, which is up here. We can make it bold, italic, underline. We can also play with where it fits in the box, and that's what we're going to do at the moment. Let's make this bold. And if we click away, we can see it stands out a little bit more. Let's highlight it again with a click and a drag, and let's change the size of the font. Now as I move over these different numbers, it's making the fonts bigger and bigger. Now if we continue, eventually you'll see that the words no longer fit in the boxes. So that's possibly a bit too big. Let's select 14. And now this is making the header for each column stand out even more. Let's make the name stand out a little bit more as well with a bold. And there we have it. Some people like to find information by having the text in the middle of a cell. If we highlight our information here, and we've got these options: align to the left, which currently is aligned to the left. You've got center, which moves it into the middle, and you've got align to the right, which moves it to the right. I personally think that putting it in the center makes it easier to read down the columns, so I'm going to go with center. The final thing I want us to do is look at merge and centre. We have this little heading of exam results. Doesn't really stand out. It didn't at the first place, but now that we've done something with formatting here, this is even more invisible. So we want to make it stand out a lot more. Our table goes from A, B, C all the way to D. So let's click and drag all the way to D. So we make our heading the same width. We choose merge and centre, and that has made A, B, C and D into one big cell. Put the writing in the middle, and that's our heading. Makes it stand out a little bit more. Let's play, we now got it selected, let's play with the font size. Great. Let's make it bold. Let's make it with italics. And now we've got an exam results spreadsheet that's much easier to read, to understand, and key information is highlighted. The purpose of today's session was to look at borders, cell colour, text appearance, and merge and centre. We've now covered those 4 subjects. The best thing you can do now is take some spreadsheets and have a play with them. Put some borders, change the cell colours, play around with the text, see if you can use merge and centre, and try and make your spreadsheets look more attractive and easy to read.